you ready? Cheetah Energy, RBL 2026. Playoff is back. Make some noise. 4 teams, 1 trophy.
Let's go Patriots, baby.
We got Patriots, basketball. We got RSSB, Tigers, basketball. We got Rare basketball. We got APR basketball.
Let's go Tigers! Let's go Patriots, baby.
Kigali, the wait is now over. The Cheetah Rwanda Basketball League Playoffs 2026 is now underway. Starting from today, 5th August, we're gonna witness the basketball here in Rwanda.
Almost flight, that's the way to do it, bro. That's tough. First game, way to get busy.
Before the arena lights shine, before the crowds fill the stands, it begins with a dream. A kid who watches, a coach who believes, a player who inspires.
Adoni playing with Adoni's double filer.
A practice becomes a passion, a player becomes an inspiration, and a fan begins to dream. Rides can wait, meetings can wait, because moments like these don't.
Woo!
Basketball isn't just played inside an arena. It lives on dusty courts, in crowded streets, in homes gathered around the screen. It's in every neighborhood, bringing strangers together, turning quiet moments into unforgettable ones. Every game, every story, every fan, across nations, only on Okapi.
Tigers, are you ready? Cheetah Energy, RBL 2026. Playoff is back. Tigers, make some noise. 4 teams, 1 trophy.
Let's go, Patriots, baby.
We got Patriots basketball. We got RSSB Tigers basketball. We got Weird basketball. We got APR basketball.
Let's go, Tigers. Let's go, Patriots, baby.
wait is now over. The Cheetah Rwanda Basketball League Playoffs 2026 is now underway. Starting from today, 5th August, we're gonna witness the basketball here in Rwanda.
Hey, off a flight, that's the way to do it, bro. That's tough. First game, way to get busy.
Before the arena lights shine, before the crowds fill the stands, it begins with a dream. A kid who watches, a coach who believes, a player who inspires.
Adoni playing with Adonis double filer.
A practice becomes a passion, a player becomes an inspiration, and a fan begins to dream. Rides can wait, meetings can wait, because moments like these don't.
Woo!
Basketball isn't just played inside an arena. It lives on dusty courts, in crowded streets, in homes gathered around the screen. It's in every neighborhood, bringing strangers together, turning quiet moments into unforgettable ones. Every game, every story, every fan, across nations, only on Okapi. Before the arena lights shine, before the crowds fill the stands, it begins with a dream. A kid who watches, a coach who believes, a player who inspires.
Adoni playing with Adonis double filer.
A practice becomes a passion, a player becomes an inspiration, and a fan begins to dream. Rides can wait, meetings can wait, because moments like these don't.
Woo!
Basketball isn't just played inside an arena. It lives on dusty courts, in crowded streets, in homes gathered around the screen. It's in every neighborhood, bringing strangers together, turning quiet moments into unforgettable ones. Every game, every story, every fan, across nations, only on Okapi.
All social media networks. That's Okapi Sports Network. It's the big one. The defending champions, APR Lions versus RSSB Tigers, also the Basketball Africa League champions. It's the battle for who is the greatest in the land of 1,000 hills. And we are coming to you live from the capital, Kigali, Rwanda. The BK Arena is starting to get packed. 14 minutes to game time. We can see the players right there taking the court, a change of kits for the two outfits. The big brother, small brother is no longer a thing here. The small brother has grown up to now want their own household. Christine is in big. Good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for joining us this evening. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm very excited for game 2. We had an exciting game 1. I think we all knew that this was going to be a tough series. Both have something to prove. We have the defending BAL champions for 2026 and 3-time RBL champions.
Back to back?
Yeah, back to back. So they're looking for a number 4, while RSSB need to show why are they the BAL champions.
We're looking at a game of adjustments, but just quickly looking back at that game 1, Christine, on Wednesday night. The Tigers blowing the APR Lions off the park, especially in that fourth quarter. But the dominance there in the paint, 60-42, coming in from the RSSB Tigers. What is different about the regular season Tigers to the playoffs Tigers?
I think definitely there's something to be said about the reinforcements that they made towards the end of the second leg. We have the addition of Nisra Zuzua, you have the addition of Nate Roberts, and you can already feel their impact, right? Like these are players that have come in and really changed the tempo and reinforced what Tigers, they were already a strong team, right? And then now with the introduction of Taylor Bay, who made an outstanding debut game 1.
What a game.
Yeah, and made I think he was the leading scorer of that day with 39 points. So that's definitely someone to watch in this game as well.
Kristen, 2 things that stood out for me there with APR. One, it's the first time that this APR team are coming into a final series when they are behind in the past 4 years.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So that means mentally it's new adjustments for them coming into this game. But also for the coach himself, James May, it's what adjustments does he make? You see the starting 12, the 12 that he has called out today, the same 12 that played game 1. Do you expect him to give more game time? Because people like Mukama Victor, who has been a standout player throughout the regular season, he's one of only 2 players who were positive in the plus-minus brackets there for APR, but he didn't see much of the court. Him and Nore Habimana, who have been the standout players throughout the regular season, they didn't see as much playtime. So is that the adjustment you make going into this game? Do you give them more playing time?
I mean, definitely, right? Tigers is coming in from their strongest foothold, and there are players that have been consistent throughout the regular season and would definitely be looking to continue that consistency. It will be interesting. I mean, the addition or the bringing back in many ways of Tiafale Leonard Jr. along with Craig Reynolds II, who was MVP of BAL this year. I mean, I think it's changed the tempo, and I don't know if they've had enough time to kind of reintegrate them into the team. And yeah, I mean, APR has a strong roster, but that connectivity and that play, like the team needs to be cohesive in order for them to be potent.
I feel like APR and don't get me wrong, because APR's bench dominated the Tigers.
That's true.
On the day, but is it wise to go more than 8 players deep in the playoffs? Everybody doesn't have to eat, right? You have your 5 that you need to trust, and then go 3 players deep and maybe try to get something out of the, because there are players like Owitonze, Gaston, Axel Mpoyo, Justin. You feel like it's the same player coming all the time. So they get cold and they don't get enough playtime, and that's why. But the man on our screens right about now, Craig Randall. I was talking to a few people on the Wednesday game, and they say the best thing to happen to the Tigers is the return of Craig Randall.
I wouldn't be so sure. I mean, we saw how he performed in the BAL. For anyone that had watched the regular season before that BAL stint, there were a bit of questions on his performance, but when he came to that BAL, he completely dominated. And I think that's what APR is looking to do. That's why they brought him back, right? He also needs to warm it.
And this is what you and I have been discussing and arguing about throughout this season, right?
Yeah.
It's a chemistry thing, right? The Basketball Africa League, I feel like, is an all-star event.
Yeah.
Teams get together 1 week, 2 weeks to the tournament. But the Tigers team that went on to win the Basketball Africa League was the one team that was together for more than a month in comparison to everyone that they were playing in that tournament. So they didn't have much of a chemistry issue. Now, he's not the kind of player that you just bring in and plug and play, right? He's not a Stephen Branch that we have seen previously. He's not a Will Perry, right?
Yeah.
He is a player that you need to have chemistry with, to have an understanding. The team needs to adjust to him because it's either him or not him, right? So if he is as inefficient as he was, shooting only 35%, 8 for 23. Look, 25 points looks good, but 8 for 23, that's a 35% shooting night.
Yeah.
That can't win it at this level.
I mean, we're going to see what Coach James is doing at the end of the day. I'm sure they have a game plan and how they plan to work around that. Maybe it will come down to that team chemistry and having them actually integrate. But yeah, I mean, you can't rule them out.
If you were the coach, how'd you deal with an inefficient Craig Randall Day? Because the hard conversations have to be held. Do you sacrifice his minutes? Do you take him off the court? Do you make sure that Nore Habimana, who seemed to have an efficient night, Mukama Victor, your best player throughout the regular season, gets more minutes?
That's a fair question. I can't even disagree with that. But I guess goes back to your bench, right? Whether we're going to be giving the people who've been consistent time on to play. I mean, at the end of the day, Tigers are bringing their best foot, and like if you're not careful, you don't really have the luxury of warming up. Or do you give him the chance to warm up? I guess this is a 5-game series. Are they taking that bet of like maybe by game 2, game 3, since they do have that luxury of playing a couple of more games? He will get back to that BAL level of playing? Or do we actually just say, okay, who on the bench is going to deliver? They know the league, they've played. It's a very physical game. He actually mentioned it during the media session after the game and said, the team wasn't at that level of physicality. But I would actually argue that Tigers itself wasn't as physical as they could be, considering what the regular season is. So we'll see. We'll see. At the end of the day, everyone is making bets, trying to assume, and especially since we've already had game 1, what adjustments or bets are they going to make based on what they've seen? But also they need to play to their strengths, right? And whether we like it or not, Craig is a top scorer.
It goes down to something, leadership, right? Leadership in the camps. When he was playing with in the Basketball Africa League, he was listening to Antino Jackson, and the team goes as far as Antino Jackson, and you can clearly see Jackson is doing that for the Tigers.
Yep.
Who leads APR? Who comes down and talks to the players and is like, hey, because clearly Craig Randall, and one may think I'm being hard on him right now. He is not the person to lead in terms of call the players into question. Adonis Fila is the player you expect to be leading that team, but he is also having his own struggles.
I think it's actually been very interesting, right? Like when they were talking to Tigers, they asked them, like, how do you feel about going into the playoffs? You haven't really been in playoffs before. And they said, no, we have a lot of experience, right? And when I'm looking at the APR team, I don't think we're seeing the level of experience that they have and what they could be bringing to the table.
And experience is the one thing they've not lacked previously, right?
Yeah.
Their captain, Robbins, one of the most efficient players in the league. You think he would get more minutes, but if you're to go 7-8 players deep, then who doesn't get minutes?
It's actually crazy, though. We haven't really seen the star players from the last season.
Yes.
The Mpoyos, the Robins, even Shobozwa, there's a lot of questions around him. Filer, of course, had a rough season last season, but he's actually been having quite a really good second leg. So let's see how it goes.
Quickly looking at the Tigers, 39 points from that man on your screen, Tyler Bay, drafted 37th overall by the Dallas Mavericks. This 27-year-old, game 1, he is a pro. He knows when to get his points. He will be in the paint when you need him to be in the paint, but he picks his moments. How does APR adjust to that big ball lineup that has Tyler Bay and Nate Roberts that they can't seem to figure out? They seem to be too big for them in the paint. That is the dominance. 15 for 21. He's shooting 75% on the day. You don't stop that. So what would be the game plan here?
It's really interesting, right? Like Tigers is known generally as a defensive team, but you're seeing that they're now bringing in a lot of offensive power. And APR, I mean, it seems like they're struggling a little bit to defend them and actually keep them. They have a disadvantage in the fact that they didn't have Bay in the regular season, so they're now having to study and understand him. But you can't isolate Bay. Like you said, they've got Jackson, they've got Zua, they've got Roberts, they've got so many people driving. I mean, I haven't even mentioned the regular season folks, the Bizimanas, the
Shaka Oliviers of this world.
Very, very dependable Shaka Oliviers.
The man on your screens, Antino Jackson, I call him Captain Fantastic. He takes you as far.
That's funny.
It's the beat of the drum, right?
Yeah.
Antino is the guy that gets you to wherever you want him to get get you to 12 points, 15 assists on the day.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone eats.
Actually, I think he did more assists than APR as a team, which was actually quite impressive. And I feel like Antino has been having such a fantastic season across the board. Whether it was his performance at the BAL, the performance here, he's really carried the team and really set the pace. Normally, he's a little bit more of a scoring type, but it's amazing to see that switch and where he's now playmaking and really controlling the movement. And there's a confidence that has come with him taking that lead.
Yeah, does that go down to being a pro's pro? This is someone who's just walking past us in a red shirt. If you can't see him, Israel Otobo, right? That is a man I think would have that would have been the adjustment for Coach James May. But just like what he has shown us in the past 2 seasons going into the Basketball Africa League, he's not a player he seems to favor. But he is my second best big man of the season behind Garba of the Patriots in the dominance he has had for the day. And when you look at Nate Roberts, what he is able to do, you need players who are just going to be role players because there's only one basketball that goes around at the end of the day. So Israel Otobo, is that the adjustment that maybe they need to make?
It's really tough. It's a tough call to make, especially because, as you said, we don't really see him when it comes to the really big games, and maybe he would be the difference. But a question to Coach James on what he's planning and why he's choosing the big men that he is. A bit surprising to see on the court that Nate Roberts doesn't seem to be here.
Oh, Nate Roberts is not warming up, and that looks like that's Kim Kamasa there. I think we'll need to get some more information on that. That could make or break it. That's a big differentiator. I know you and I have argued about, or have disagreed. I think the right word is disagreement, right?
Better, yeah.
Yeah, no, we've disagreed about the importance and the role of Nate Roberts, but his presence in the paint, he limited APR to just 42 points in the paint. They couldn't drive when he was there, but he seemed to also struggle with his fitness.
I mean, to be honest, I don't think we disagree on the type of presence that Nate Roberts brings to the team. I think for me, it's that we haven't seen Nate at his full potential. And that's for me, that's what I'm looking for, right?
Yeah,
yes, he's warming up. It feels like now, game 1 is where I really saw Nate Roberts shine a little bit more. But our disagreements came from the last couple of games within the regular season. But no doubt, there's going to be an impact of Nate Roberts not being on the floor today.
Let's see how that impacts the Tigers' defense. Coach Mwinuka, known to be the defensive juggernaut that he is. Ken Gasana, his assistant, also known for his offensive prowess. On the other side, James May, the coach of APR, sticking with the same 12. Only one change in the starting 5 of these teams. We'll be sharing with you that starting 5 a little bit later on. The game starts in exactly 50 seconds.
Are we excited? Are we excited? Nate has arrived. He just walked in.
It's almost game time. Game 2 of the semifinals of the 2026 Rwanda Basketball League. The RSSB Tigers versus the APR Lions. Who is the king of the den? Tigers den, Lions den. The starting 5 for both teams, starting with the Tigers, Antino Jackson. Nate Roberts, he finally made it. We didn't see him there in the warm-ups. Mutabazi as well, the pro Rwandan, playing in the Rwandan Basketball League for the first time. Ishimwe in that starting 5 as well. And that is a change in the starting 5 that started the previous game, going with 2 ball handlers. That is what Coach Mwinuka is going for. Quickly moving on to APR, Tiafale Leonard, Mohamed Dinye out there. Nore Habimana, point guard duties. He'll be sharing those duties with Craig Rando and Axel Mpoyo as the small forward. The slight change there in the starting 5 for today is Axel Mpoyo. I still think only one player on that court for the APR Lions that was in the positive on the way in game 1, and that's being Nore Habimana, being +3 for the day. You need more production from your point guard. It's a guards league. The Rwanda basketball is a guards league. You move as far as your guards can take you. No love lost between these two teams. Started out as a big brother, small brother, but the small brother, which is the RSSB Tigers, have grown into this game. Your center referee, Gaga, getting us underway, and the tip-off, just like game 1, collected by Mohamed Dinye, the Senegalese international. Craig Rando marked by Mutabazi. Easy finding Nore Habimana. Nore Habimana going for a quick alley whoop. First 2 points for the day for Tiafale Leonard.
What a start.
And that is what you're looking for from your team. How quickly do they start out there? Antino Jackson being guarded by Nore Habimana. Shimwe hasn't been very positive from the 3-point line. And Nate Roberts also trying to fight. No, can't drop it. Craig Randall, quickly, quick movement, fast break points. We can see a change in game plan. Nore Habimana, man down, hand down. Nope. DJ gets that rebound. Back to collection. 10 to shoot on the clock. Craig Randall finds Axel Mpoyo. Corner 3. Mohamed Dinye, 2 rebounds already. And it looks like the Tigers are being out-rebounded. And there go Craig Randall. He misses another one. But Mohamed Dinye, 3 offensive rebounds already. They just can't seem to bite for the APR Tigers. Antino Jackson. Oh, Antino Jackson, that's what a captain does. Dang!
Changing the pace.
He changes the pace of the game. 3-2, the Tigers. Tiafale Leonard brings up the court. Closely guarded by Bay. That's a matchup to watch out for. Bay being the first player we've seen in the league that has actually had Leonard quiet. First personal foul on the day. How much did the foul trouble that Mohamed Dinye got in early in the previous game affect APR?
1.5 minutes into the first quarter, we can definitely see APR has come out with a different tone and wanting to come out very aggressively. Tigers currently lead 3-2. Let's see.
Mohamed Dinye, quick. Again, in the points, very aggressive from APR.
Very, very aggressive.
in the paint early on. And Antino Jackson trying to get into that pick and roll with Bay. Bay again up against Dinye. Nate Roberts, well guarded. Nore Habimana trying to push that pace. Ishimwe up against Nore Habimana, the 2 Rwandan internationals. Nore Habimana looking for Dinye on the pick and roll. And Craig Randall, Mutabazi guarding him well. Axel Mpoyo, 3 to shoot. Craig Randall
not
off the mark again. Mohamed Dinye with another offensive rebound. It's an offensive rebound clinic.
Oh!
Craig Randall with his first 3 of the night. He's 1 for 3 early on. 7 to go on the shot clock.
Oh!
First turnover. Axel Mpoyo finds Craig Randall in the corner and bang! Craig Randall.
APR is punishing them. APR is punishing them.
Timeout. Tigers. Craig Randall sends them to the corner early on. 10-3, 7-point difference.
Wow.
It's the difference is in it's offensive rebounds. It's the offensive rebounds on the day.
And this is where our argument was, right?
Yep.
Like, that's why I said I think we need to see Roberts a little bit more physical. Bay, what made that difference in game one was the fact that he went in strong. Like, he did not be shy on becoming very physical. Roberts, we're not feeling him yet.
Yeah, no, and you're right with that, Christian. Right? We've seen APR come out more aggressive in the paint. Nore Habimana, who usually stands on the top of the key, has a point guard. He is playing more in the paint. They're breaking a lot faster with the fast break points. Tigers, on the other hand, look a little bit sleepy, but that's what you expect in a game too, because you don't want to go 2-0 down going into game 3.
Absolutely. But the other difference right now in the first 2 minutes is the pace, right? I've always said APR they like the fast pace. That's what Coach James has been teaching them. Whereas Tigers, they like control, right? They're not this fast paced. It's not to say that they can't play at that, but they need to make sure they control the pace. Otherwise, APR will go away. We're now at APR leading 10-3.
And that's the substitute, and that's the difference that I think Mwinuka has noticed early on, right? He had Ishimwe come on early, but Zuzua, who was, I think, one of the big difference in game 1, finally sees some playing time. Zuzua, guarded by Mohamed Digne. That is dangerous.
Love Zuzua.
Net Roberts picks his first offensive rebound for the day. Can't control the ball. Axel Mpoyo. Quick 4-on-3 right there. Nore Habimana, Euro. He's off. Zuzua. Slowing the game down. He plays at his own pace. You don't rush him, eh?
Yeah.
Finds Bay in the post.
Oh!
Another turnover. Those are 5 turnovers early on by the Tigers. They can't seem to take care of the basketball, and that gets you punished at this level.
That's true, but I'm liking that I'm seeing more control and possession from Tigers after this timeout, because if you remember, in the first 2 minutes, it was really just in APR's hands. All the rebounds, all the shots. So it's good. Yes, they're not capitalizing on their possession, but at least they're also not giving APR easy shots.
Foul on Mutabazi. Craig Randall to inbound. Two team fouls for the Tigers, but as you can see out of the previous play, right? Going to. Ooh, and that's the pick and roll. That's the pick and roll. They're going to punish you all day, every day. Tiafale Leonard, he's an energy player, just like Craig Randall, right? If they get going early on, that is a lot of trouble. You don't want to be in that trouble. Antino Jackson trying to get the Tigers back in this. Some English there. He doesn't speak French.
What a beautiful shot.
He doesn't speak Kinyarwanda. Do you know what he speaks?
What?
Some English. Antino Jackson keeping the Tigers in the game early on. 12-5, all 5 points for the Tigers from Antino Jackson. He goes to the free throw point line.
Aren't you feeling a bit of deja vu, though? This is what the scoreboard looked like in game 1, but it was flipped.
Christian, and this is when we bring into question the calls by the refs, right? The basket has been scrapped, called for an on-floor inbound.
Yeah.
Foul.
That was a foul.
Yeah, but it's the previous play,
yep.
right? Antino Jackson goes. It's supposed to be an and one because you allow him to finish the movement of the play.
Right.
And those are the small margins that the refs, those mistakes that they keep making 2, 3, 4 years in, you shouldn't be making such mistakes at this level.
Let's see how it goes. We're still in the first quarter. The teams now both have 2 team fouls. They'll definitely both want to stay out of foul trouble because we know both teams will capitalize if the other team ends up with 5 team fouls.
Mutabazi didn't take a lot of shots.
Beautiful.
Mutabazi didn't take a lot of shots there, but Net Roberts with his first points of the night, 12-7. That is the difference. 5 points, the difference. Craig Randall going for his first three. Looked like he was fouled in that play. Asked for the foul. Referee not budging right there. Tigers ball. Mutabazi inbounding. Zuzua taking off ball handling duties from Antino Jackson. Corner three, Antino Jackson off.
Where's Tigers rebounding?
But Mohamed Digne is doing what he came to do today, right? He's looking at a man who has 7 rebounds already, and we are only 5 minutes into the game. Axel Mpoyo, corner three, and one, bang!
And that is the Mpoyo that we know.
That is the Mpoyo that hand down, man down.
Did you see that ball movement though?
Oh, clean, going for the 4-pointer the old-fashioned way. Antino Jackson calling the committee together.
The Tigers are down 8 points.
The Tigers down 8. Mutabazi, right? Game 1, first time ever playing on home soil in the Rwanda Basketball League. We've seen him play for the national team. He also plays out there in Canada and Australia. He has been basket shy. Antino Jackson with marked by Tiafale Leonard. Zuzua, corner three. Yet to get his Shemi Osborne, also known as Ozzy, on court right there for Mohamed Digne. Axel Mpoyo, another one, bang, off, in and out. Another offensive rebound that Tiafale Leonard seems to have picked on. Mutabazi looking to facilitate. Bay, easy
But the way that Mutabazi is playing, maybe that's his role, right? Like maybe he's not being basket shy. Maybe this is part of the game plan.
Yeah, but I just feel like when you have a free
basket,
free basket, free route,
yeah,
he's putting in a lot on the defensive work. Another steal by Mutabazi. 4-on-3.
Oh,
again, that chemistry issue, the chemistry issue, right? You can tell a team that hasn't really gelled. They're figuring it out, but these are pros.
But yeah, I love the coaching staff of Tigers. You see Kenny Gasana going on there telling the team, calm down, it's okay. Yes, they're down 6 points, but 6 points is nothing for a team like Tigers. They can come back very quickly. APR should not be feeling comfortable right now.
You don't feel too comfortable right now, especially when you have Zuzua and Antino Jackson that can shoot it from anywhere in the pack. Another turnover, Craig Randall. Zuzua, 2 against 3. Oh no, he holds out, brings it back in the paint. Zuzua
not
finds Bay. Bay rolls.
Hey.
Cleaning
That's
up
what I want from Nate Roberts.
He is cleaning up the glasses, right? Do you bring Mohamed Digne back in the picture? Because Ozzy seems to be too small for Nate Roberts down there. If I am the Tigers, I'm giving it to Bay. Nate Roberts every day, all day for that matchup against. Oh, bang! Axel Mpoyo.
Tigers are paying for leaving Mpoyo alone.
This is Mpoyo of 2 years ago, right?
2 years, last year.
Hand down, man down.
Last year. Are you forgetting that he made that 3-point record in South Africa?
Yes.
Last year.
Yes.
So it's not 2 years ago. Mpoyo still has it in him, but he just needs the playing time, right?
Craig Randall shoots from the park off. Bay. Whoa! Spin move. Puts Adonis Fila in a blender, and I don't know if we have bananas or mixed juice right about now. Craig Randall in and out. Looks for Mukama Victor, but can't find him. Foul on Mukama Victor.
Very interesting ball movement by Randall. You'll notice that when he goes into the paint, he barely is making the shot. He's actually sending it out. And I think they realize that, and that's why they're making sure they're not giving him any space to make that shot.
I think they play him best, right? They don't listen, because Randall is the kind of player that feeds off the energy of other players. And if you have a player that feeds off the energy of other players, experienced players like Zuzua, Antino Jackson, who has been his teammate at the Basketball Africa League, they ignore him. They let him talk to himself, and then he has nothing to feed off right there. And we've seen that APR go as far as Randall takes them. Bay in the point, guarded by Mukama Victor. Blender off.
Ooh.
Net Roberts.
Hey.
picks his own rebound.
Twice.
And that's a foul. Question.
That was a 4-on-1.
Four players around him. And then it becomes very tricky for Coach James May, right? Do you bring Mohamed Digne back onto the court? And that means less playing time for Osborne. The question is, how deep do you go into your rotation for such a crucial game too? Are you losing that game?
This substitution is actually really interesting, right? He's just brought on Uitonze Justin, which if you've watched him in the regular season, 3-point shooter. Like that's what he does. But he just removed
Axel
a 3-point
Poyo.
shooter.
Yep, I think Axel Poyo's legs have just gone away. But that's the other, one would say, challenge of coaching a team like APR, because you have a lot of players that are so similar to themselves, right? You have Robbins, you have Uitonze Justin, you have Gaston, you have Axel Poyo, who seem to all play the same role. Jafale Leonard, top of the key, finds Osborne alone in the paint. Mukama Victor fumbles, but collects it for an easy 2. 2013 is the score line. Tigers trying to push the pace with Antino Jackson. Antino Jackson finds Zua, top of the key. Interesting lineup being played by Tigers. 3 guards on court. Shimwe, he has struggled to shoot that 3 ball all season. Bay collects a rebound and 1 play right there for Bay. And it seems like APR's early dominance on the glasses with Mohamed Digne has gone away with him going to the bench.
Absolutely. Another thing that's really interesting now, right? Even though APR is still leading, APR is now in foul trouble. Yes. This game has become very, very physical, and they're giving away too many fouls.
And quite early on, this is what, 1.5 minutes to play to the end of the first quarter. Mohamed Bey makes that easy, he makes the free throw. 4 points, the difference. APR, Mukama Victor bringing it up, guarded by Zuzua. Adonis Fila, in and out, looks for Osborne. You don't miss such at this level. You are alone under the basket by yourself. Antino Jackson, he pushes the pace. Zuzua in the corner by himself, fakes it. Looks like he walked to heaven right there. Ishimwe, again, Bay, offensive foul. Cheeky. Quite cheeky there from Bay, but the refs called on. Side ball. Mokama Victor bringing it up on the court, guarded by Zuzua, a player whose defense has greatly improved in the playoffs. Ishimwe collects the rebound. Antino Jackson, 5-on-4. Bay, quick ball movement, stumbles, loses it. Antino Jackson collects.
Oh!
Easy 2.
Taylor Bay, coming and making a difference again, bringing down that gap to 2 points as we are about to end the first quarter.
You go for a 2-on-1 if you are the Tigers, and that is it. Chiafale Leonard can't seem to be making those easy baskets. Almost poked. 2 seconds the difference with the shot clock. And 1. Antino Jackson, 20-all.
What a drive, what a drive. Uitonze Justin really tried to defend, but Antino found space and made that shot in the end.
That's what a captain does. He noticed his team started cold, and he has taken on the mantle. We saw in game 1, he was more of a facilitator, 15 assists. He has come out early here, 7 points. Antino Jackson makes the free throw. 1 point, 2 points the difference. Adonis Fila fouled by Shaka. 0.8 to play to end this first quarter. Adonis Fila going to the free throw line. What did you do different in the second quarter?
if I was APR, make sure I don't end up in foul trouble too early, which seems like as they're trying to be more aggressive and put pressure on Tigers, they're making a lot of mistakes that are very unnecessary. Definitely move the ball more, create more chances for themselves. But I would say substitute less, like let the team actually get a flow going and allow them to make their plays.
Makes both free throws. 22-21, that's the difference. Interesting first half. APR came out aggressive as we expected them to, being that they are one game down. They need to win this. You don't want to go 2 games down if you're playing against these RSSB Tigers. Smell blood. When the tiger smells blood, it will eat all day. Arnold Crisera, Christine Simbi, you're watching Okapi Sports Network. Follow us across all your social media platforms.
They don't have my full name. Stop saying my full fucking name.
Interesting first quarter. APR, and Christian, we alluded to this early on, right? You mentioned it at the end of that game, of that first quarter. APR have gone 8 players already deep into their rotation, right? So you don't have at any one point a solid starting 5 that know their exact roles for those minutes on the court. On the other hand, the Tigers have only gone 7 deep, right? And they're keeping it that 7 deep. And the 2 changes were the initial change where Shimwe came on for Zuzua to in the starting 5, but then they were the coach realized that Antino Jackson needed backup with ball handling duties, bringing Zuzua on. First change, one of your favorite players, I think. One of the better players in the league in the regular season, Paul Bizimana, this young man, 21 years old, playing for RSSB Tigers, sees his first minutes of this game too.
I mean, look, yes, he's gone deep into the bench, but if you see the scoring, right, of the 22 points, 6 different players are on the board for APR, right? And they have contributed. Yes, they're not really getting into a floor, but they're scoring. And if you look in comparison to Tigers, only 3 players are on the board. So let's see if that's going to be the strategy in quarter 2.
William Robbins sees his first minutes of this game too. Craig Grant also back on this court. They decide to go a little bit smaller. One big man, Randall, guarded by Antino Jackson. His Basketball Africa League teammate, Randall, trying to get it too. Mohamed Digne back in the foray of things for APR, and again he forces a rebound right there. Shaka Olivier guarding Mohamed Digne, an interesting matchup, and we want to see how long they can ride that out, having Nate Robertson Bear on the bench, getting them some rest. Craig Randall guarded by Zuzua. Takes on 2, Ishimwe with the steal. Axel Mpoyo collects. 2 seconds to shoot, no basket.
A very interesting start to the second quarter. We're almost 1 minute in. Both teams haven't actually scored in this quarter yet. But you can see that they're both tense, right? Like they want to create that gap for themselves. And that's really important because it could go either way. There's no way of knowing for sure who will win this game.
Antino Jackson. Got it by Will. Oof. 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 Picked up by Adonis Fila. Adonis Fila looking ahead. Who is there? Craig Randall. Beats 1. Can't beat 2. Antino Jackson collects. Foul.
Very interesting. Randall is actually going into the paint a lot more in this quarter and also in the last minutes of the last quarter. But it doesn't seem to be working for him.
because they're walking him off the 3-point line. They're not letting him get close because he's a rhythm player. Let's not forget that in game one, he 2 of his only 3-pointers in the game came in a space of about 45 seconds, right? So if you let him get his rhythm, he will kill you. What do? Don't allow him to get into rhythm. Zuzua over 2. Can't seem to buy a basket today. Feel like it's the right call there by the referee. Axel Mpoyo guarding Olivier Shaka. Olivier Shaka, another vet in the league, has won the league before with Rwanda Energy Group, going back to back now with the RSSB Tigers. Interesting 5 on the court now for APR. Adonis Fila with the ball handling duties there. And again, he had a minus. In spite of scoring 13 points in that game one, he was minus 13 for the day. So the question, and again, Kristen, I know you heard me asking this question, but why is Enori Habimana getting more playing time, being that he's one of only 2 players in the plus bracket for APR? Craig Grando out, Axel Mpoyo 3. Mohamed Dinya collects another rebound. Robbins, Mohamed Dinya, another rebound, goes all in. He is having the centers for breakfast. Axel Mpoyo out of the park there for Craig Randall. Can't seem to hit. Zuzua bringing it up the court. 2 minutes gone into the second quarter. 22-21. Zuzua going in all the way. Can't seem to hit. Craig Randall 4 on 3. Alley-oop. No, can't seem to find Mohamed Digne, but he collects himself. I would be very mad if I was the APR coach right now. You make a hard basket on one side of the court and you give up such an easy layup on the other side of the court. No transition defense. Adonis Fila guarded by Shimwe. We haven't talked much about Ishimwe having such a good game one. Antino Jackson. Craig Randall collects. Attacking Ishimwe. Ooh, misses an easy basket. Play it up. Zuzua all the way. And that is how it is done.
And it's in. Listen, this is Zuzua's forte. This is not Craig Randall's strength.
Look, that is the difference between maturity, a pro's pro, and yeah. Axel Mpoyo, top of the key, goes through the screen. Antino Jackson with another steal, taking on Axel Mpoyo. Again, easy 2 and 1. Antino Jackson, what a game number 55 is having out there today. 10 points already, 27-24. Tigers 3-point lead.
Just like I said, you know, APR needed to make that gap bigger because Tigers was going to come for them. And for the first time, of course, now Tigers is leading. It's been very fascinating. When you're watching the Tigers play, you can see that they know where they're meant to be. They're having, like, their set plays. I don't feel the same when I'm watching APR. It feels like they're all over their place, and that's how they're not connecting, right? The shots are not landing. They lose Antino, and Antino punishes them for that. So, yeah, if I was Coach James, I would tighten up my plays and make sure my players, they're meant to be where they are and they're playing the part that they're meant to play.
And again, I will insist, Christian, right? He doesn't need to go
That deep.
10 players deep into his squad, because then the players don't know what their roles should be on the day. Not everyone has to eat when it comes to the playoffs. This is a make or miss league. Go 7 players deep, go 8 players deep. Keep it tight, right? It's sad, right, that you are going to have some players not getting game time who are seen as superstars locally. But then that is also the price you pay for having too many superstars.
I hear you. And we'll see, right? He's obviously going to continue making adjustments. APR is now trailing for the first time in the game, and he has to be more intentional about how he's choosing who's going to be on the court. especially as Tigers is going to try and create a gap as they've already started.
Interesting substitutes there by the Tigers. Seem to go into a defensive lineup there. Bruno, known 3 and D player, Mutabazi, of course, and Paul Bizimana, all on the court at the same time. Antino Jackson, Paul Bizimana collects that rebound. That shouldn't be happening. Second chance points on offer right there. Nore Habimana finds Craig Randall, backboard. Nate Roberts picks the rebound. Antino Jackson, the one ball handler on the court for the Tigers. How many minutes is he going to play today? Captain Fantastic Mutabazi, 4-3, air ball.
That was really great ball movement by APR, though. Unfortunate that they couldn't get the final shot in, but this is one of the things that Tigers needs to be a little bit careful with.
Again, you've just had good ball movement. Robbins has just gotten into the rhythm of things. You take him out. Bring on Mukama Victor. Axel Mpoyo's just got...
I'm a bit confused on why he keeps on taking Boyo out.
It's quite fascinating what he is trying to play. Mukama Victor, guarded by Antino Jackson. Mutabazi fighting through the screen. Mukama Victor up against 2. Bruno Shema gets the steal. Antino Jackson, breakaway. 2-on-1. Paul Bizimana, why hesitating? And can't seem to convert.
Unlucky. But there's that defensive aspect of Tigers, right? Like, they're not giving APR any room to breathe. And I mean, APR is struggling, right? But they're going to have to figure out. That's the only way that they're going to be able to win this game.
If there's one thing I would say, one asterisk that I say Paul Bizimana has been his inability to finish when he gets the chance to. He is one of the better rebounders without a doubt. He's one of the better small forwards in the league. Can play both 3 and 4. 21 years old. The sky is the limit for this young player. But he needs to convert those easy second chance points. He needs to punish the teams when he picks those rebounds.
I agree, but I think we also really need to give him a lot of grace, right? He is a young player. He's coming up. I think his confidence will only continue to grow. We know that he can make a really big difference when he's on the court. But I feel like he's just not warmed up yet. When he is, he'll definitely also be a pain for APR.
5 points the difference. Right there for the Tigers. Biggest margin lead for them in this game 2, 29-24. Tiafale Leonard, he started off hot, but went cold. Another steal by Bruno Shema. Right there, Jackson finds Shema. Paul Bizimana. More offensive duties right there for Paul Bizimana. Craig Randall fumbles it, shoots for 3.
Misses.
Am I giving that as a foul? Christine, am I giving that as a foul?
Very, very fascinating change in pace. I'd initially said, Tigers likes controlled paces, and I think they do, but they're showing that they can also move at a fast pace, and I don't think APR is ready for a fast Tigers.
They are not ready to run, right? And if there's one man that is ready to run all day, every day, his name is Antino Jackson. Craig Randall shooting 3. Makes the first one. Six points the difference. Makes the second.
$31 for Tigers, $27 for APR. Coach James May has made yet another substitution.
Bruno Shema.
Ooh.
Off Tiafale Leonard.
They are fighting in that paint.
Oh yeah, it's a battle of the paints. We saw that over 90 points in the last game came through the paint. 56 for the Tigers and 42 for APR. Net Roberts being guarded by Nore. Shema finds Mutabazi. Mutabazi at the 3-point corner. Mutabazi finds Shema. Antino Jackson all free. And he will punish you.
Let's go, Captain.
Ooh, he is feeling it today. 34-27, biggest lead of the game, and by the Tigers. Shema Osborne, his first points today. He cuts that lead to 5 points. 34-29. 4:18 to play.
You know, while I think that Tigers, it's good that they're showing that they can play a faster pace, I think they need to be a little bit careful, because at the end of the day, this is APR's forte. If they're not super careful, they might keep on making mistakes. You saw the fumble over there when they were trying to get the ball, and both Roberts and Bruno went down. They can't afford that, because APR will definitely take advantage of having fewer players marking them.
Mutabazi misses the first one. Misses both. Gasto seeing his first minutes of the game. Another player. Oh. Foul on Net Roberts. Nore Habimana shooting two. 5 points the difference. Just over 4 minutes to play in this second quarter. It's APR vs Tigers. APR trying to climb back, but they seem like they have a mountain to climb. First time in over 3 years that they go into a Game 2 semi-final in the Rwanda Basketball League where they are down. It's all mental right about now. And the question is, how do you dig yourself up from that hole? Sinks the first one.
Seems like Sirfali might have some bruising or something that's requiring him to be subbed out.
Some blood on his elbow. No blood needed on the court. No blood allowed on the court.
Although they're all out for blood.
I would be out for blood. You know what? They say the lion is the king of the jungle. But what do you really think would happen if a tiger and a lion fought?
I actually really don't know. Have I ever seen a tiger and a lion fight? But these tigers, they're definitely giving the lions a run for their money.
Let's assimilate that. Right about now, Zuzua finds Mutabazi. Clearly, Tigers are slowing the pace down. 3:58 to play. $14 on the shot clock. Right there, Zuzua. Tigers going deep into that shot clock. Quite a patient team. Mutabazi back top of the key. Zuzua. 3 shoots. Great defense by APR. Mukama Victor. He pushes the pace. Finds Osborne, one of the better shooting 3 big men in the league. Mukama Victor. And that's why you have him on the court. That's why you need to keep him on the court. Because he finds a way to put that ball in the basket. Antino Jackson. Ref says play on. Bay in the paint. Finds Mutabazi. Second air ball by Mutabazi. And we have some Australian rules football on the court there by Mohamed Digne. In the last game, he did it and it wasn't called out for. Seems to be like the refs have their eyes today.
Going back to Makoma Victor, though, I feel like APR is really not using him enough. He's had a fantastic regular season every time he's been playing. And I think you see that confidence, right? That's been building, and he's been coming in, making an impact, really contributing to the team being scoring quite a bit. So if I was Coach James, I would keep Mukama, maybe move a couple of other people, but Mukama needs to be on the floor for APR to make a comeback.
He has had one of his better seasons this year. He came out with a point to prove. At the beginning of the season, there were question marks about him being good enough to play, still good enough to play at this level. Remember where he started out from the Patriots, then Reg, then finally joining APR. And there were question marks, especially going into his last season with Reg, that can he still play at this level? What he has proven him so far in this league is he can still play at this level. If you're not yet at the BK Arena, get yourself here, but no need to worry. You can also still find us on our Okapi Sports Network. Follow us across all your social media platforms. It's the Rwanda Basketball League, Game 2.
Three minutes left on the clock for the second quarter. The score has actually gotten quite close, but APR is in foul trouble. Let's see if Tigers is going to use that advantage and play a little bit more aggressively.
1 point difference. Zuzua, he attacks the paint. Throws it out to Ishimwe, who has struggled from 3. He does the wise thing. Attacks the paint, it makes that easy too. Hard points to come by though. Nore Habimana finds Tiafale Leonard for his first 3. Bang! Tiafale now all square right about now. 2:47 to play on the clock. 36 all. Antino Jackson has played every minute of this game thus far. The ball over the screen. Looks for Net Roberts at the top of the key. Net Roberts up against Mohamed Dinye. Ishimwe, they're letting him shoot. And they're living with that. Live, die by Ishimwe's shooting. Nore Habimana collects. Guarded by Net Roberts. Mukama Victor.
That was not a good matchup.
Yeah. If I see Mukama Victor down there against Antino, I'm throwing that ball to him all day, every day.
Very curious though. Is it going to cost Tigers later in the second half of the game to have had Antino for the first full half?
Very good question. But is he the kind of player that can play all day? Gaston misses. Bay collects. Bay brings it up the court. Bay misses that to Nore Habimana. He collects. Brings it up the court, guarded by Ishimwe. They're throwing different defenses at him, but the one person that seems to be dominating that point, Mohamed Dinye. Somebody tell me how many offensive rebounds this man has, and what is the record for offensive rebounds in the Rwanda Basketball League? Because if there's any, Mohamed Dinye is going for it. Antino Jackson thinks twice about going up against Mohamed Dinye. Net Roberts seems to have been pulled right there. Tiafale Leonard, he sees transition defense. He is the king of attacking. That transition defense, he will go at it all day, every day. And APR take their first lead in this second quarter. 38-36, 2 points the difference. Tiafale Leonard with an extra, trying to go for that 3-point play.
What a crazy game. I think this game is we're gonna go all the way into the final minutes before we see who's gonna come out on top. Both teams now in foul trouble, 1.5 minutes to go. They're both putting the pressure on. You can see Tiafale really not giving Bay any space. And I feel like we've also lost, the presence of Bay because of that pressure. So
no, but look, it's a very big lineup that now APR have on the court, right?
Very
the
true.
smallest man on that court is Nore Habimana, who is 6'4", right? That's a big wingspan. Unlike Tigers, who have 3 players under 6'4" on the court, right? So it's a big ball lineup that they are playing, and it's starting to show that wingspan, that 6'11" wingspan by Tiafale Leonard, showing in him trying to get that intercept. Outbounds ball, 10 to shoot for the Tigers again. Ishimwe, they are letting him shoot that 3. They are letting him shoot that 3. They are living by that. Ooh, no sure. Is that a foul?
They've called it, so I guess it is.
I don't know if I'm giving that foul. He's like, he got bailed out right there by the refs. Ishimwe shooting 2, 5 points the difference. This is no, really, this is the second biggest lead that APR has had all game, going back into that first quarter. Ishimwe, he has struggled to shoot from the free throw line this season, averaging about 62%.
So Antino is out of the game at the moment, right? And I think especially with how cold Lars Ishimwe is currently, yeah, that was going to happen.
A smart play there by Mohamed Digne. The experience has come into play there by the Senegalese. He knew they were in foul trouble. A little bit of a touch from Ishimwe. He goes down. He is shooting 2. Just over a minute to play in this second quarter. 5 points the difference, 41-36. APR Lions in the lead. They are behind by a game in the Rwanda Basketball League playoffs. Coach James May seems to have figured out some form of lineup. Hasn't had many changes now going, looking back into the last 4 minutes. I stick with this team for the rest of the game. Zuzua in and out. He needs help. Bailed out by Mutabazi. Back to Zuzua. Guarded by Nore Habimana. Nore finding Net Roberts. Net Roberts can't seem to finish. Jafale Leonard. 21 to play. 41 to play. Shot clock. Are they going for a 2-in-1? And Mohamed Digne, again, he finishes well. This big ball lineup punishing the Tigers. 43-36. That is the difference. Ooh! Bay, some English again, Ishimwe.
Oh, finally.
He is 1 for 5 from 3 today. He was 1 for 3 in the last game. 43-39, 4 points the difference.
Hey.
Chafale Leonard guarded by Zuzua. Again!
Oh! Mohamedou. That was a fantastic reinforcement for the APR lineup, and I think it's paying off. Something we haven't talked about, is, we always say Tigers is known as a defensive team, right? But Coach James is known as a very offensive coach. Are we going to see whether offense or defense is better? Or is the best defense offense?
Look, defense wins championships. And that's a very good question. I think defense wins championships. Coach Mwenuka won the Basketball Africa League. Very good defensive coach.
Yeah.
Don't forget Kenneth Gasana, his assistant, is equally a very good offensive coach as James May. But that's the question that you ask, Christine, when we saw the players, when we saw APR give up those 2 transition points early on, and you looked at the coach's reaction, there was no panic, there was no need. It's like, okay, cool, we got this. 6 points the difference going into this second half. What adjustments do you think the Tigers need to make?
I think APR has studied Tigers from game 1. If you see again, like they're putting a lot of pressure, not giving Bay any space, not giving Zuzua a lot of space. And I mean, they're a versatile team, right? They do have a strong roster. So I think they need to kind of get APR out of their pace. If you see, the reason I ask you whether offense is the best defense, especially in the last few minutes of this second quarter, Tigers was being more reactive, right? Like APR is the one that's controlling the tempo, they're controlling the pace. They look more comfortable, and that's not a good place for Tigers to be.
Do you think that was down to Antino Jackson taking some rest? Because he's off the court, and then they seem to be discombobulated a little bit. Because we saw Zuzua and Mutabazi running into each other. When Antino Jackson is on the court, every player knows where they need to be. So that brings into question, do Tigers match to the beat of Antino Jackson? Definitely. But if he is not on the court...
I mean, I hear you, and I think definitely Antino has a part to play in it, but I think it's also just momentum, right? You have the big man and Mohamedou coming in and like really just drilling all of the shots that he's getting. Whereas Lars Ishimwe, who can play a facilitation role but seems to be struggling on the scoring side, and they're not getting those rebounds. And so they're giving APR too many chances to get away from them. So, yeah, yes, Santino makes a difference, but also we're not seeing Bay take as many shots. He kept on giving the ball to Lars, and Lars was not making the shots that Tigers really needed.
Lars Ishimwe, and it looks like it has been a tactic by APR to let him shoot that three, right? They've done their homework. Quickly looking at those stats, 45 to 39, the 0.6 points differential right there.
Yeah, and you can see even though Tigers has slightly an advantage with 41% field goals, APR is leading in terms of 3 points. They're rebounding more. They have 29, while Tigers only have 22. They have more assists, which is very fascinating because in game one, Tigers was leading on assists. While Tigers have stolen 7 balls, while APR only did 3, they're not making as many free throws. APR has made 8 of 11, while Tigers has made only 4 of 11.
5 points the difference, 4 points the difference on the free throw line there. So if both teams getting 11 free throws, 4 out of 11 doesn't cut it at this level. That's shooting under 50% from your free throws. Players at this level should be able to convert their free throws. Tigers getting punished because they're not making their free throws.
I agree. You know who didn't get as many free throws?
Who?
Nate Roberts. As a big man. As a big man. I want him. I want to feel his presence on both sides of the court. Both defensive rebounds, offensive rebounds. They need to not lose those second chance points. And yeah, I mean, I think a 6-point gap, it's not too big. Tigers can make a comeback. They definitely have a lot of composure. They've been in tight situations. Their coaches also have really, shown that they're capable of making a comeback. 6 points is just two 3-pointers.
Are they though? And it's the Cheetah, the man up there, Antino Jackson.
He's saying
Antino Jackson being the big differentiator going into this second half. He seems to be carrying these Tigers with 13 points, already more points in one half than he had the whole game. In game one, 12 points, but he was sharing that rock a lot more with 12 points. You're watching the Rwanda Basketball League on Okapi Sports Network. 9 minutes to go to the second half. We'll be right back after this break.
Before the arena lights shine, before the crowds fill the stands, it begins with a dream. A kid who watches, a coach who believes, a player who inspires.
You're going to play with Adonis double filer.
A practice becomes a passion, a player becomes an inspiration, and a fan begins to dream. Rides can wait, meetings can wait, because moments like these don't. Basketball isn't just played inside an arena. It lives on dusty courts, in crowded streets, in homes gathered around the screen. It's in every neighborhood, bringing strangers together, turning quiet moments into unforgettable ones. Every game, every story, every fan, across nations. Only on Okapi.
Welcome back to Okapi Sports Network. 45-39. That is the scoreline. APR Lions are 6 points ahead of the Tigers. Very good. You observed something in that first half, but one of the things you observed, Kristen, was Steven Hagominwari, who had defensive duties against Craig Randall in that opening game, is not in today's lineup.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's what's costing Tigers in this game, because as we can see, I think his replacement, Dan Kimasa, hasn't even come onto the court yet. So,
yeah, Kim Kamasa, they're coming in as the 12th player for the Tigers, but Antino Jackson, your standout player in the first half, 13 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 1 steal. I don't know if APR are leaving, but you know what? Let Jackson score the points, but let him not make those assists. Nore Habimana, Nore, guarded by Antino Jackson, fights over Jackson fighting over that screen. Same starting 5 as the opening quarter for APR on the court. A different lineup there for the Tigers. Zuzua in for Ishim, with that double coming in late by the Tigers. Craig Randall coming over to support Tiafale Leonard there, because Bay dominated that paint in game 1. Mutabazi, quick steal by Axel Mpoyo. 8 points the difference, 47-39. Again, the Tigers starting cold in this half, just the same way they started it cold in the first half. Zuzua finds Bay. Bay up against Mohamed Digne. Mohamed Digne with the steal. Mutabazi trying to have some English there. Blocked by Mohamed Digne. Not in my house. With those Kareem Abdul-Jabbar-esque glasses and just playing like Kareem right there. Nore Habimana up against Jackson. In, out, misses. Net Roberts collects the rebound. And Tino Jackson directing traffic. Finds Bay. Bay, too strong for Nore, for Axel Poyer, but not for Mohamed Digne. Second block there for Mohamed Digne. Kickball. Clock reset. 18 on the clock. APR ball. 47-39. 8 points the difference.
you can definitely start seeing that Bay is feeling a bit frustrated, and APR have. Look at that.
What Mohamed Digne can do, Bay can also do. Bay with his first block of the game. Craig Randall. Mohamed Digne in and out. Jafale Leonard all by himself. Collects his own rebound. Finds Nore Habimana. They reset. Mohamed Digne, Craig Randall fighting over the screens. Craig Randall, Mohamed Digne, fouled by Bay.
A very interesting start to the second half. You can see
7 points, the difference. Antino Jackson bringing it up. Coach Mwinuka looks at his bench. Paul Bizimana coming into the fray in a few minutes. Antino Jackson. Again, that wingspan by Tiafale Leonard showing the difference. Man, he has a 7-1 wingspan. Time to regroup for the Tigers. Timeout. What do you tell your team in this moment? You're 11 points down.
11 points is still manageable, but I really think they need to calm down and reclaim their possessions and also just trust themselves more. APR is flowing. Their ball passes are landing where they want them to go, and now we're seeing Tigers doing the opposite, which is
Three stops in a row. Three stops in a row. You know how we supposed to play. Go back to ball over two. Don't even trip.
and Tigers seem a little bit shy.
We're going away. We're going away.
Already, there's only one foul for Tigers with none for APR. And I don't know, is that cautious approach not going to hurt them in the end?
I was
Defense, though. We got to go, guys. Come on, defense. Don't be 1, 2, 3, 4.
but maybe those tiring legs are starting to show. 3 players in double figures for APR already, with just 1 point, 1 player in double figures for the Tigers. The Tigers need to get some offensive power from Zuzua right about now, but now playing their own version of that big lineup with Antino Jackson, Zuzua, Net Roberts, Bay, and Paul Bizimana all on the court. Net Roberts finds Zuzua. Zuzua guarded by Tiafale Leonard. Tiafale puts him in a blender. That is the offense we're talking about from Zuzua. He's your pros pro. He knows when to get his baskets. He knows why he needs to pick his baskets. Nore Habimana fights Craig Randall. Craig Randall has had a quiet 12 points so far, being guarded by Zuzua. Craig Randall all the way to the point, picked by Zuzua. 4 on 3 by the Tigers. Spread it out. Antino Jackson, Paul Bizimana. Paul Bizimana. Foul on Tiafale Leonard. That is his 3rd. Paul Bizimana shooting 2. 9 points the difference. Just over 7 minutes to play in this 3rd quarter.
This is definitely very different from game 1. The dominance that Bay came with, and I guess it was also his first game, right? APR had never encountered him before, but they really seemed to kind of keep him in a corner and not give him any space. For a player that made 39 in the whole game, he's currently only sitting on 9 points. Zuzua as well. Antino is the only one who's in double digits for Tigers, and I think they're going to need to find a way for Bay and Zuzua to be able to start scoring again.
Nore Habimana being guarded by Antino Jackson. Nore playing off the screen, fighting through that screen. Leonard turnover. Another one by APR. The difference, I think, between the 2 teams, minus the free throws, has been the number of turnovers. We saw in that first half, Tigers turning that ball over quite a lot. Antino Jackson finds Zuzua. Zuzua looks, shakes, backs, takes his time. Off Axel Mpoyo. Clock reset, 14 on the clock for the Tigers. 6:31 to play in this 2nd quarter. 7 points the difference. Antino Jackson over the top. Bang! Net Roberts. Is that the dominance you're asking for, Christine?
Absolutely, absolutely. Ooh. Antino is not happy.
I think it's the right call. I think it's the right call by Gaga. I don't say that often, but I feel like it is the right call there by Gaga. He was moving his feet.
Yeah, but I think this is now where you're starting to see that Tigers are definitely feeling the pressure and trying to make a comeback.
Antino Jackson with another steal. Finds Bay. Your pros pro. Foul. Bay shooting 2. Tigers trying to up the pace. 5 points the difference. And every time we see the Tigers run the ball, Antino Jackson more on the ball. That is the difference for them. He creates the shots for them. He gets the players in the right positions for the team. And then their offense starts to click. Timeout, APR.
I am not surprised that Coach James just called a timeout. His team, these last couple of minutes, have lost their momentum, and that's not a good place. Their balls were not landing where they were meant to land. They're fouling the Tigers players. And Tigers is definitely upping their aggression, right? Which is what they need right now. They're still lagging behind by 5, but that's a smaller gap than when we started the second half.
Tigers have been the more aggressive team. That is down to 5 points, and it shows you quickly how this game can change. Basketball is a game of runs, so every team knows it's going to get its offensive opportunities. But do you take advantage of your offensive opportunities when you get them? Tigers not changing much in their lineup so far, keeping it a very, very tight circle. Not lots of minutes for the bench of the Tigers, and that's why I think we saw the big difference in that game coming in from the benches with APR's bench outscoring the Tigers. The reason as to why is because Tigers doesn't play its bench for as many minutes as APR does theirs.
And to be honest, I'm not sure it would be a good idea for Tigers to actually play their bench because they're not giving their players enough minutes. It will take too long for them to warm up, and that's not a chance that Tigers has the luxury to take.
Coach Punuka is not known for taking such luxuries. 3 points, the difference. At one point, it was 11. Mukama Victor finds Nore Habimana. Nore Habimana sets for Mukama Victor. Mukama Victor, all free for a 3, misses.
Ooh.
Nate Roberts collects the rebound. Zuzua brings it up the floor, being guarded by Craig Randall. Zuzua finds Antino Jackson. Antino Jackson being guarded by Mukama Victor. Mukama Victor to Zuzua. Zuzua guarded by Craig Randall, fighting over the screens. Digne can't seem to find his feet. Foul call.
It's really fascinating to watch the temperament of these two teams. You'll see when APR starts getting frustrated, it shows in the way that they play, whereas Tigers seems to be doubling down and really just actually focusing on what they need to execute.
Nore Habimana there with a foul, checked out by his coach, Adonis Filler back on the court. I want to give a big shout out to Coach Liz Bells, who is our producer right there, coming in with those stats.
Bay.
He's getting the opportunities. They're just not falling. Mukama Victor fights Craig Randall. Craig Randall, deep, bang!
Randall. He's a problem. He's a problem if they don't keep him in check.
Randall with a handle. Zuzua. Pick and pop. Finds Craig Roberts. That basket is in. Count the basket. 4 points the difference. Who is the king of this jungle? Is it a tiger? Is it a lion?
Too early to tell.
I feel like lions have the best PR in the world. Literally and figuratively. Mokama Victor. Craig Randall. Blocked by Zuzua. Not in my house. Not today. That's his second block against Craig Randall today.
Unlucky.
Bay. Antino Adonis Fila. Up against Paul Bizimana. Again, not in my house. Some great defense right about there. Not helped by the lack of transition defense for the Tigers. Mokama Victor shooting 2. 4 points the difference. 4:40 to play.
This game has not been easy on either team. They are having to work for every single point, every single basket.
Much slower than game 1. And I think a slower game seems to favor APR. Because if the Tigers play a more fast-paced game, then it becomes harder for APR to stick by them. Antino Jackson, he finds Bay. That's exactly what we're talking about. Mohamed Digne with another block. Bay.
He took too long. He took too long.
Travel. Yeah.
And the crowd is going wild.
The crowd is getting into it.
I am wondering,
What
did Taylor Bay
Yes.
go too hard in game 1 and paying for it in game 2? Because at the end of the day, this is a series, right? They need to be able to maintain their consistency.
The physicality of the run and basketball.
Oh!
Look, if there were any adjustments that happened in game 1 that we have seen come into game 2, it's Mohamed Digne. He has been the X factor for APR in this game, both on the offensive boards, but also in the paint. Nate Roberts.
APR is getting warmed up. And as a team that really enjoys having the crowd behind them, and the crowd is really feeding them energy, they're in a good place.
6 points the difference. I remember you telling me that 6 points is not much. Craig Randall fights off the screen. Finds Mohamed Digne, collects his own rebound.
Fantastic turnover.
Fast break point there. Zuzua
Ooh.
fouled by Craig Randall. That's a pros foul. Zuzua shooting 2. 3:34 to play.
This Zuzua Randall matchup has been very interesting.
Yes.
They have not been making it easy for each other, and that's fantastic, right? Like, I mean, it's good defense. They're having to figure out like how to create space with a player that is really almost reading their mind.
And no, and you know, it's great competition between the two players. Rarely do you see Craig Randall go out there, shake the hands of his opponents, you know, tap him on the back and say, you know what, good game, brother. He does that to Zuzua. He respects this Ivorian international.
Yeah, Zuzua has definitely kept Craig Randall from really getting away from him. He scored 25. Randall scored 25 in the last game. He's currently on 15. He is the lead scorer for APR. Is he about to make that 18? No.
Paul Bizimana collects the rebound. Finds Zuzua. Guarded by Adonis Fila. One of the better defenders. Oh my God. In and out. And Tiafale says, not in my house. Adonis Fila gets that foul. Bay shooting 2. It's the business end of this game. 7:42 played, 3:10 to go. 3:08 to go. Going by my quick mathematics. 5 points the difference. Bay shooting 2 for the Tigers.
I think APR has been maintaining their lead, and it's really important that they continue to do so. If at any point Tigers takes over, I don't think APR will be able to make a comeback. But if Tigers really makes a lead, they might run away with it.
And that goes down to the mental of the teams, right? We've seen it over the years, even the regular season games, that APR struggle when they go behind. They just don't know how to dig themselves out of those dark places. And that's because they rarely go into those dark places. Adonis Fila, guarded by Antino Jackson. Very good matchup there. Osborne Shema on the court. Mukama Victor, Adonis Fila. Directing traffic. Finds Mukama Victor. Mukama Victor fakes. Finds Osborne. Osborne for 3. Bang! Ozzy. 6 points the difference. Antino Jackson. Finds Bay in the post. Bay guarded by 2. Tiafale Leonard saying, no, that came off Bay, but if it there's no way basketball will travel in the opposite direction. It's amazing. And you know, when you really talk to these players, they don't really think that they are wrong.
I don't think the ball position is their biggest problem. I hope that the APR coaching team is paying attention to the fact that they are in foul trouble and have been for quite a number of minutes. That might explain why Tigers has actually really upped their aggression and is pushing the ball forward more. It will be very interesting to see Zuzua drive into the paint much more. I feel like he's also upping his ante. And yeah, APR needs to be careful. That 6-point lead, I don't know. I don't think APR should be comfortable again.
You can't get comfortable when you have good 3-point shooters and killers like Antino Jackson on the court, like Zuzua on the court, right? They can let it fly at any one point from beyond the arc. But once again, we see APR going into that big ball lineup with Osborne, Mukama, Tiafale Leonard, Craig Randall, and Adonis Fila directing the traffic.
But you know, it seems like Coach Minuka made a change in the halftime because remember, Antino was the top scorer in the first half.
Yes.
But if you look, he hasn't actually scored in this half. His role in this dynamic seems to have changed. And maybe they need a mix of both, right? Because at the end of the day, yes, he can shoot. Yes, he can facilitate. Right now, they need to make it as unpredictable as possible since APR is double teaming on most of the players.
I think he needs to go back into his role of being a facilitator first, right? Because if he goes into being a scoring first point guard, which we have seen him do previously, we saw him do that at Rwanda Energy Group. in previous seasons. Didn't have the chance to do that when he previously played for APR, but he can score when he needs to score. We're seeing a review at the moment from referee Gaga, and you don't know what Gaga has to say, but we'll be sharing with you the verdict of that.
But talking about Antino, I mean, yes, his facilitation role, it makes sense, right? But think about what APR is doing to the people that he was feeding the balls to, right? They're not giving Bay any space. They're not giving Zuzua any space. As much as they're trying to drive, with the current 5 that are on the court, it's really hard. He has to also shoot.
Yeah, I think they need more offensive prowess from Zuzua. He needs to attack the point more, but I think he likes to let him hold himself back to finish the job, right? Which I think becomes an energy factor. We saw in game 1, him handling the rock a lot more in those last 3 to 5 minutes. As I'm talking to Kristen here, and she's doing a Harlem Shake. Great music coming in from the DJ here.
Listen, Arnold, the energy is high, the tension is high. It's really a fantastic game of basketball. These two teams, yes, APR might have come in ranked 4th after the regular season, but they're definitely showing that they're not a team to sleep on. They can make a comeback. They are the defending champions for a reason.
Yes, yes. They want to level this series. Tigers are up 1-0. The little brother has grown faster than expected. And that little brother used to be the Tiger.
I think Tigers is definitely going to benefit from having won game 1, though. Regardless of whether they win this game or not, they have that cushion. They'll definitely be at game 3. Obviously, if APR wins, then we'll also have to go to game 4. And that gives them time to readjust, right? In the same way that APR has adjusted and is putting pressure on Tigers, Tigers could also make a comeback and, you know, force James May, or his team, rather, to make more mistakes. Because as we've seen, you know, their emotions get high, and it seems like it takes a lot more for them to gain their composure back.
The two teams are really playing a very similar game. They're going late in the clock to make their offense, to get their offense together. Similar lineups that they seem to be putting out there, and that could only mean that the game is going to get harder and more physical, right? And it could go down to a nutrition factor. Craig Randall handling the rock, guarded by Zuzua. Finds Osborne at the top of the key. Osborne finds Adonis Fila. Adonis Fila looking for Mukama Victor. Craig Randall. Intercept by Bay. Good defense. 9 to shoot. 4 APR. 6 points the difference. 2:23 to the end of the 3rd quarter. Tiafale Leonard going ISO. Shakes. Becks. Fadeaway jumper. Can't seem to make it. Bay collects the rebound, finds Antino Jackson. Antino Jackson, he directs the traffic. Antino Jackson finding Net Roberts in the post. Net Roberts up against Osborne. Antino Jackson looking for that pick and roll. Great cover defense there by Tiafale Leonard. Foul on Tiafale Leonard. That could be his 4th. And that could spell a little bit of trouble for Leonard. It's his 3rd. Thank you for the correction, Christine. At the moment, the Tigers are living at the free throw line. Net Roberts shooting 1 of 2. Misses the first one. 6 points the difference.
I'd be very curious to see what the stats are, but I really feel like there's obviously Mohamedou
Dine. Mohamed Dine.
He made a huge difference in the rebound. Like, he really dominated the paint. And even though he's not on the court right now, that's definitely given a lot of breathing room for APR.
And you feel like now the coach is serving him for the 3rd quarter. Craig Randall up against Antino Jackson. He has become a facilitator. Tiafale Leonard, he misses the 3, looks at the ref. The ref is not giving. Zuzua up, guarded by Tiafale Leonard. Zuzua behind the back finds Antino Jackson. Antino Jackson sets his feet to take the 3. No, he doesn't. Changes his mind. Zuzua, 2-man game with Antino Jackson. Can't find the 3. Craig Randall in transition, going for 3. He leaves off those transition 3s. Peg! Craig Randall, 62-54, 7 points 8 points the difference right about now. Zuzua, Antino Jackson, Tigers struggling to create any form of offense. Bay looks gassed out. Antino Jackson directing traffic. 7 to shoot in the clock. Bay can shake, finds Net Roberts. Net Roberts can't hit. Collects his own rebound. Kickball of Ozzy. Shot clock reset to 14. Tigers ball. And Tigers are struggling to create any form of offense in the second half. Bay under the basket, finds it, asks for a foul. Ref is not budging. Adonis Fila, guarded by Zuzua. Finds Craig Randall. Craig Randall over the screen. Bang! Oh, in and out. Bay finds Zuzua. Zuzua. Paul Bizimana. Yeah, why are you passing that on, right? On the floor foul there by Adonis Fila. First team foul. Is it? Fourth team foul for APR. Second. Just the second team foul for APR. My bad.
They're in foul trouble. It's the second team. It's the second personal foul for Adonis.
Oh, thanks for that correction, Kristen. Second for Adonis, foul trouble. Tigers shooting 2. Tigers have lived at the free throw line this whole second half. Third quarter now going into the fourth quarter, and you expect Mohamed Digne to be back for that fourth quarter. It's going to, you wonder if they're going to switch up their game plan. Craig Randall double teamed, throws it off the basket. Zuzua taking a long one. Is it?
Oh, just misses, just misses.
Look, Kristen, I don't know how they've been able to do it, but the Tigers have kept themselves in this game.
I was just thinking the same.
In spite of not playing well at all.
Listen, I think that we are seeing the pressure that APR is putting on Tigers, but they are actually converting. Like, it's fascinating, and I think in the fourth quarter, if they can't do their second chance, if they can't get their own rebounds, if they can't put pressure and make sure that they're not giving thing, they need to fight in the paint. If Mohamedou comes back in and he dominates them the way that he did in the earlier part of the game, it's going to be APR's game. So they need to figure out how do they contain APR, but also create more chances for Zuzua, for Bay, for Roberts, who seem to be, you know, really feeling the heavy defense of APR.
Tigers seem to be struggling because they seem to be generating their offense from only 2 players, right?
Yeah.
At this, it's either Zuzua or Antino Jackson. But they need more from Bay. They need more from Roberts going into this fourth quarter, and they need all 4 players on the court. Now, who's going to have the fresher legs? The question is, does Coach James May keep with his same big ball lineup? Because the big ball lineups seem to be working for APR.
30 seconds until the last quarter of the game. I called it in the beginning. I said it would be down to the last minutes. And I mean, yes, Tigers has led once, and APR has led for most of this game. But again, I wouldn't rule them out, and I still feel like Tigers, as they have a point to prove.
Stop living at the edge, Christine. Stop living at the edge.
I love the edge.
Stop living at the edge.
I love the edge.
No, just come out and say, okay, cool. I think going with this game, you know, X, Y, Z, and then we can hold you to account a little bit later on.
Look, I think that Tigers in the last game were more physical. They punished APR and made sure that they converted a lot of their points. APR in this game have been more aggressive and really put pressure on Tigers, and they've struggled to really match or even surpass that level of aggression. So, yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see how this fourth quarter is going to go.
It's a make or miss league. Fourth quarter, Rwanda Basketball League, game 1. Sorry, game 2. Tigers vs APR. Antino Jackson, he looks fresh. Man, that bounces back. Finds Net Roberts at the top of the key. Net Roberts in the post to Bay. Bay, double team, Axel Mpoyo and Digne. Kickball off Digne. Reset the shot clock. 14 on the clock.
Bay is definitely showing a lot more frustration in this game with the calls that are being made or not being made, rather.
Bay asking for it again in the post. Seems to attack. Zuzua guarded by Adonis Fila. That handle is tight. Oh my god, and he goes right. Finds Paul Bizimana. Does Paul Bizimana shoot it? He walks to heaven. Shout out to Bruno Mars. APR ball, 4 points the difference. It's the fourth quarter, 9:30 to play. Tigers vs APR. Adonis Fila. Adonis Fila in the pick and roll there. Gets off his feet. Just releases it in time. Tiafale Leonard misses. He is not having the best of series. Nate Roberts with the rebound. Bay Zuzua. Back off. Nate Roberts cleans up the glass. Off Mohamed Digne. Tigers ball. 4 points the difference. 13 to shoot. Some tired legs really out there. You can see Paul Bisumana holding his shin. Antino Jackson. Whoa! Cross. Still. Antino Jackson. Shooting from very deep.
Hey! Come on, Jackson. And they really needed that shot.
They've been struggling to create offense.
They brought the gap down to 1.
Craig Randall answers right back. Back to 4 points. What you can do, I can do better, Randall says. Antino Jackson attacks. Antino Jackson waves through the paint. Guarded by Tiafale Leonard. Zuzua finds Bay. Bay attempts the 3. Axel Mpoyo. Mohamed Digne, that's his 4th block of the day. Adonis Fila guarded by Zuzua. Axel Mpoyo in and out. Roberts collects. Antino Jackson directing traffic. 7:50 to play. 13 in the shot clock. The crowd asks for the defense right there. Antino Jackson finds Nate Roberts. Nate Roberts finds Zuzua. Zuzua, 5 to play in the shot clock. Foul. That's a really, really bad foul to do. You have defended. You have only 4 seconds in the shot clock. You're not making that foul. Because that gives them a reset of the clock. Nore Habimana comes in for Adonis Fila. And Ishimwe comes back in for Paul Bizimana, who looked a little bit leggy. Right there. Zuzua finds Nate Roberts. Nate Roberts to Zuzua. Zuzua being guarded by...
that bounce. That bounce.
I don't know. He is lucky to go away with one right about there. Nate Roberts. He's shooting 2, 4 points the difference. We're watching game 2 of the Rwanda Basketball League semifinals. It's the battle in the jungle. Tigers versus APR.
That was Mpoyo's 4th personal foul. He is really keeping the pressure high and making sure APR's defense is stopping Tigers from gaining momentum.
He's your quintessential 3 and D guy. Nate Roberts misses the first one. He's shooting 50% today. Misses the second one. Collects his own rebound. Antino Jackson. Oof. Antino Jackson now seems to be taking on the mantle to create his own offense. Craig Randall going for 3. Bang. Off. Zuzua trying to go early in the clock. Zuzua guarded by Tiafale Leonard, living in the mid-range. And 1!
Zuzua. He'd been looking around as he was going towards that basket to see who was there and decided to make the shot, and clearly that's paying off.
We call him Zuzua, we call it Zuzu time. The Ivorian Cote d'Ivoire international cuts the lead to 1 point. 7-12. What a game we have on our hands, Christine. 1 point the difference. Nore Habimana being guarded by Antino Jackson. Antino Jackson looking forward Mohamed Digne. Nore Habimana, he has been one of the better plus and minus players in this series for the APR. He attacks the paint. Foul on Nore. Man, I feel like Nore Habimana should take advantage of his size every day, all day. You're talking about a 6'4" guard that can handle the rock. He should be attacking that paint all day, every day, because he can live with the small forwards on any team. He's a mismatch at his position every day that starts with a T. Today, tomorrow. Nore Habimana shooting 2.
I don't really think you're on the money, and Jackson needs to be careful, right? That was his 4th personal foul, and if he's going to be marking Nore, he doesn't want to get out of this game.
No.
It will cost Tigers a lot.
Yep. Tigers can't seem to create any offense outside Jackson.
I think they're struggling in the paint, and that's why he's trying to make the shots a little bit further away from the rim. The arc, sorry.
But you can just see in that play, right? Bay collects the rebound. Ishimwe, another ball handler, is right in front of him. And who does he look for? Antino Jackson. Antino Jackson, guarded by Tiafale Leonard, playing farther away from the arc. Antino Jackson for 3. Misses it. Bay collects the rebound of him.
APR
2
ball.
points the difference. I want to give a shout out to Alvin Mungabo, who is watching us on the Okapi Sports Network YouTube page. Thank you for watching there. Tiafale Leonard makes an adjustment, makes 2. 4 points the difference. 6 that into play. Antino Jackson, guarded by Craig Randall. Antino Jackson directs traffic. They are looking for that switch. Ishimwe coming. Nore Habimana, they get the switch that they've wanted. Nate Roberts finds Bay. Ooh. 2 points the difference. Nore Habimana directing traffic. Tiafale Leonard, he is feeling it. He is starting to feel it. Tiafale Leonard, 4-3, goes early in the clock. Mohamed Digne collects another rebound. Again, what is the record for offensive rebounds in the Rwanda Basketball League? Tiafale Leonard trying to speak some English. No, misses the mark. Zuzua collects. Zuzu trying to part the Red Sea there. Antino Jackson in the paint. Passes up a 3 point. Ishimwe.
I don't know what's going on with Tigers. They keep closing the gap and coming within 2 points of APR and just not able to actually equalize.
Yeah, but this, man, and it's such small margins of error, right? You get momentum, you get a chance to rally. Take advantage of your rallies. Craig Randall, guarded by Zuzua. Zuzua finds Nore Habimana. Nore Habimana to Mukama Victor. Mukama Victor can't seem to hit off the 3. Antino Jackson collects a rebound. Jackson directs traffic. Ups the tempo. Jackson finds Bay. Bay in the paint. It's crowded right there. Tiafale Leonard looks ahead. Can't seem to find anyone ahead of him. Craig Randall. Craig Randall just gets over in time. Craig Randall attacks the paint. Craig Randall, foul. Who is that foul on is the question. Shooting 1, Craig Randall. 4 points the difference. Bay is clearly frustrated with the referees. And that's where you see a 4-point swing, right? They had an opportunity to close that gap to 2 points. They fail. They have a backcourt violation, going by what the refs called it. And that backcourt violation turns into 3 points. Oh no, okay, 2 points. On the other hand, Ishimwe collects a rebound. Antino Jackson, guarded by Nore Habimana. Nore Habimana fighting over the screen there by Bay. Bay. Antino Jackson to Roberts. They're going late in that shot clock, which makes it easier to guard them. Antino Jackson, well guarded by Nore Habimana. On-court foul by Nore. He doesn't think so. I don't think there's ever a player who thinks they fouled.
Very interesting. The roles have reversed, right? We were talking about how Jackson needed to be careful as he was guarding Nore, but Nore is also seeing that he needs to be careful when he's guarding Jackson.
How many fouls by Nori right about now?
He's currently on 3 personal fouls.
Again, in a game of such tight margins, 3 fouls is not that bad for you to take to get him out of the game, especially if he's one of your better plus-minus players. Net Roberts. Ishibwe in the mid-range, misses, quite heavy. Shema Osborne. Game now going at the pace that APR would like to play it at. Craig Randall directing traffic. Antino Jackson guarding Craig Randall. Craig Randall for 3. Zuzua with the rebound. Zuzua, he is your pros pro. Oh, Tiafale Leonard says, not in my house. Not right about now. Craig Randall again attacking Antino Jackson. Craig, oh, some easy English right about there from Craig Randall. 6 points the difference. You don't want this gap to get any bigger. Antino Jackson again. Tigers are going so late in the clock. Nate Roberts finds Antino Jackson. Antino Jackson. Mukama Victor. Intercept. Craig Randall. He is feeling it. Craig Randall for 3. Bang!
And the crowd goes wild.
Zuzua asks for timeout. And yes, as expected, timeout. Tigers. Bay walks away. He looks not very happy with the referees.
What a game. What a game.
9 points the difference. And the game, man, it's such small margins of error. You are 2 points behind, and then you give the officials an opportunity to call a backcourt violation. And that swings the momentum of the game. And now that momentum of the game is 9 points. 3:22 to play on the clock. Regroup for the Tigers. And if you're the Tiger, what do you call? Who do you bring back onto that court? Do you get Mutabazi back on the court?
I think you bring in people that are going to force APR to make mistakes because, as you can see, the team is in foul trouble, and yet it doesn't seem like APR are feeling the pressure from Tigers and making the mistakes that Tigers would really need to be able to close this 9-point gap. The gap is increasing. Tigers is struggling to find that momentum. They're being guarded hard. It's becoming a very, very physical game within the paint. The passes are not landing. Bay is frustrated. This is not a good place for Tigers to be.
Not a good place at all, Christian. You have Antino Jackson with about 16 points, but it feels like those have been 16 really, really hard points, right? He had 13 points in the first half, and he has only had 3 points in the second half with 3:22 to play in this fourth quarter. 9 points the difference. Tigers vs APR. And it seems like Coach James has figured out his big ball lineups, and he is now going by just those big ball lineups. We've not seen Gaston back on the court. We've not seen Robbins back on the court. We've not seen Justin back on the court. That tells you he is figuring it out. But surprisingly, in these last 3 minutes, you expect Mohamed DJ, who has been the X-Factor player, to be on the court. He is not there. Tiafale Leonard being guarded by Antino Jackson. Antino Jackson in a crowd. It's crowded at the top. Antino Jackson finds Bay. Back to Antino Jackson, who's directing traffic. Oh my God, that switching pace by Antino Jackson can't seem to convert. But Nate Roberts cleans up the glass there. 68-75. 6 points a difference. Adonis Fila guarded by Antino Jackson.
Roberts has now joined Bay and Antino in the double digits.
Ooh, offensive foul. Risky business there by Antino Jackson, right? Because if that foul is called on him, ooh. Offensive foul called on Tiafale Leonard. Had he set his feet, I think there are very few players in the league.
That's his 5th foul. Tiafale is out.
Tiafale Leonard is done for the day. Oh.
Look, I think Tigers, it's 2 minutes until the end of the game. They need to be taking risks. They have to.
They need to move a lot faster in the shot clock. Make up their minds quite faster, but Antino Jackson directing traffic, being guarded by Mukama Victor. Antino Jackson, shake and bake. 1-2. Antino Jackson. Ooh.
Oh no.
Is that a basketball intercept? And that looked like a goaltend right there. I don't know what the replays will show us, but the ball looked like it was coming down the cylinder. So those are the small margins. Let's look at this play once again. Antino Jackson, shake, bake, shake, 1-2, leg through. Misses that one. Net Roberts looks like he's clearing up.
Shema misses his first.
Small margins, small margins.
Look, I think Antino's doing his best with the big men that are in the paint and trying to block his shots. I don't think the matchup between Zuzua and Ozzy is going in Tigers' favor.
Shema Osborne makes 1 of 2. 8 points the difference. Coach Mwinuka asking his team to play a lot faster. Zuzua. Zuzua finds Antino Jackson. Antino Jackson guarded by Adonis Fila. Adonis Fila, one of the better defenders. Antino Jackson finds Zuzua. Bay led in the shot clock. 2 to go. They can't seem to get a basket off. Great defense by APR Lions right about there. 8 points the difference. 1:53 to play. Is it done, Christine? Do you expect Tigers to come back right about now?
Listen, Arnold, it's not done until the final whistle. You never know what Tigers has in the bag, although I've been saying that a lot, and I'm beginning to question my own assumptions.
I think they left themselves with a lot to do.
I think they've been over-relying on a few players.
$1:43 to play. Big ball lineup down there. Adonis Fila, Shema Osborne, Mukama Victor, Mohamed Digne, Craig Randall.
Craig Randall has been having a great game. He's scored higher than what he scored in game 1. He's currently on 28 points with 1 personal foul. He's on the court. You'll definitely see him continue to put pressure. And yeah,
He's
Tigers
been
are
more
struggling.
composed.
He has.
He has been more composed. He has adjusted to how they are playing him. Craig Randall, guarded by Mutabazi. Mutabazi did a good job on him in the first 2 quarters. Craig Randall, the top of the key. You know he is shooting that thing.
Long
Bang!
shot.
Bang!
That is a
Craig
long,
Randall
long
from
shot.
downtown. And it's Craig Randall time. And he is having Mutabazi have it. Zuzua.
Oh!
Zuzua with the reply. Zuzu says, what you can do, I can do better. 71-79. 8 points the difference. Craig Randall brings it up. Fighting through the screen of Shema Osborne. Craig Randall directs traffic. He's saying, I'm going ISO, guys. You know I'm shooting this thing. Oh, no, I'm not. Mukama Victor adjusts. Misses that.
What a game this has been. Craig Randall is sitting on 31 points.
Man, Tigers need to go early in the clock if they are to stand a chance.
One minute and 9 seconds to go in the final quarter of the game. Tigers are sitting on 3 team fouls. APR in foul trouble, have been in foul trouble for I don't even know how many minutes. But I don't think APR is feeling the pressure and is still maintaining their aggression.
And that's not smart play by the Tigers. Because if a team is in foul trouble, the job is to continue attacking them. Zuzua goes for 3, misses it. Mohamed Digne says, these are my boards, man. And of course, Ref Gaga calls a foul on the Tigers. Tigers, that means APR are shooting 2.
I respect the hustle, but that was a very unnecessary foul. I mean, I've been complaining about Tigers and their rebounds, but that's definitely not how they want to play out the last minute of this quarter.
Just less than a minute to play, 56 to be exact. Full court press there. Coming in from Antino Jackson. He makes the steal. And they just get it over right about in time. Bay. He finds Zuzua. Zuzua finds Antino Jackson right in the same spot that he took that shot in. 6 points the difference right about now. Again, full court press from the Tigers. Nore Habimana, he gets over. Nore Habimana directing traffic. finds Mohamed Digne. Nore Habimana says, okay, let's play a little hot potato. Fouled by Mutabazi. 6 points the difference. 29 on the 29 to play. 11 on the shot clock.
Adonis misses his first shot. Do you think he's going to make the second and make that gap 7 points?
7 points, I think, puts it out of touch for the Tigers. 7 points puts it out of the touch for the Tigers. Now it should be game, set, done. Tigers trying to run fast. Antino Jackson, we know he is going. Good defense. Zuzua. Adonis Fila. Stolen by Zuzua. Zuzua for 3. Bang!
And he makes it.
4 points the difference. Antino Jackson gets the
steal.
Zuzua. Bang!
Zuzua!
12.5 to play.
What a comeback!
12.5 to play. And what do you draw up if you're the APR coach? You have yourself to blame. How are the Tigers still in this game? You have 7-point difference with 29 seconds on the clock. 12.5 to play. If you are the Tigers right about now, Christine, do you foul Ali, force them to go to the line, take 2 free shots, and then you have a chance to take a 3-point shot?
I think I would definitely do that and also maintain pace. Clearly, APR were not expecting Tigers to maintain that momentum in the last 30 seconds of this game. But I told you from the beginning, don't count Tigers out. And unless APR had created a big enough gap that they wouldn't make a comeback. See, the 6 points was not enough.
6, it went to 7. Adonis's hands got a little bit sweaty there. Oh my God, what a game you have on our hands. Coming out of that timeout, do you foul Ali and let them live at the 3-point line? If I am the Tigers coach, if I am Coach Mwenuka, I am fouling Ali. And depending on the lineup that the coach is putting on the court, who am I fouling?
I mean, you're looking at it from a Tigers perspective, but both teams are in foul trouble. You might actually see that APR might
do you know who I'm fouling? Because it looks like the lineup is bringing back has Nore Habimana, has Craig Randall, has Witten Justin. I am fouling Nore Habimana. And I'm telling you, kill me. 1 point is the difference. Let him shoot 2, and then you have a chance. And it's going to be a full court press.
Love the composure that Zuzua is showing.
And yes, that lineup, as we predicted, Nori Abimana outbounding, smart play there. I am fouling immediately if I am the Tigers coach. Immediately. Force them to take 2 points with 12.
Oh.
You don't want them to take a 3-point shot.
This Mutabazi and Randall matchup is very interesting.
You don't want them to get in a shooting motion. Nore Habimana outbounds. This is when I foul. And smart play by Zuzua. This is when I foul, right? And that's pressure on Adonis Fila, who just missed 1 of 2 points previously, right? So if Adonis Fila makes this 2, Tigers have 10 seconds to bring that ball up the court. And they have 3 players on that court who can shoot that 3. You have Zuzua, you have Antino Jackson, and you have Bay. Question is, do you call your last timeout as the coach? Adonis Fila makes 1 of 2. He's cold-blooded. He lives for these moments.
He also thrives off the crowd's energy.
He thrives off that energy.
And the crowd is very surprisingly sounding like they're dominantly Tigers now.
This crowd is 6-7,
They're having a very exciting game.
6-7.
Both teams are giving them a lot.
6-7. uh, he makes both. Ice. And Coach Munuka calls his last time out of the game. Now, if we know he is calling a play for Zuzua, he is definitely, but then you don't count Antino Jackson out. Remember what he has done at the biggest of the stages, the Basketball Africa League.
I would definitely give it to either Antino or Zuzua, whoever gets the opportunity first. And I think APR will know that and make sure they don't give them enough space. But 10 seconds, it's just a 3-point difference. Will they force an overtime?
You know me from APR, do you know what I do? I am fouling early and forcing them to take 2 points. to shoot 2 free throws.
So they get their possession.
Yeah, let's leave at the free throw line, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to give a killer like Antino Jackson, a killer like Zuzua, an opportunity to shoot that 3.
And Zuzua's shots have been landing in the last few minutes. He is feeling hot right now. If it gets in his hands.
I told you, what time is it?
Zoo time!
Zoo's time! They need 3 to tie it and force overtime. Man, are we having our first overtime of these playoffs?
I actually don't remember the last time we had an overtime in a RBL game.
Oh yeah, Patriots versus APR.
In which year?
2020.
Exactly. You have to think about it. That's what I meant.
You know they're going to either Zuzua or Antino Jackson.
And you can see it clearly. Mutabazi is going to take the ball from the side.
Yeah, inbound by Mutabazi, guarded by Craig Randall. You know Antino Jackson is running off those screens. Oh, well guarded. Well guarded.
Oh.
They can't get a shot off. Well guarded. And they seem to have forgotten the play. Ladies and gentlemen, 79-82. APR Lions win Game 3 of the Rwanda Basketball League.
Listen, APR worked hard for this win. The loss was not a big margin, and I expect that Game 3 will be just as tough for Tigers. It could go either way. Today, it went APR's way, but we'll be very curious to see what Coach Munuka does for Game 3. Series sits at 1 game Tigers, 1 game APR.
Look, Tigers seem to be a little bit leggy coming into this game, but the adjustments that were made by Coach James May, right? He noticed that he didn't need to go deep into his bench, needed to play his big ball lineup. We saw more minutes for Mukamo Victor. We saw more minutes for Nore Habimana, and that proved to be the difference, right? Tiafale Leonard has also continued to struggle in these playoffs, but you know what? As long as you have Craig Randall, why not? Are we ready for Game 2? And right on our screens is Mama Poyo!
Celebrating the big win.
She's back. William Perry, man, that has been a very interesting story that him and Haruna won't be able to play for the Rwanda Energy Group because of the failure to clear them in time by the Rwanda Energy Group, who failed to hand in their paperwork to FIBA in time to get the 2 players cleared for these playoffs. And you just wonder what kind of adjustments the next game is going to have. It's Arnold and Christine, Okapi Sports Network. You're watching the Rwanda Basketball League.
And here are the final stats. So we had APR make 82 points with a 38% field goal. RSSB Tigers lagging just a little bit behind, but Tigers made less 3 points at 23%, while APR made 31%. Surprisingly, Tigers did actually rebound more than APR with 52 to 48. But those assists, right? It's gone the complete opposite way. APR had 22 assists while Tigers only had 16. They've stolen the ball more, Tigers, but it seems like they couldn't convert with 13-5. And on the free throws, they did actually make more free throws in the end, and they did have a higher number.
Yeah, but Christian, you see, the 16 to 14 on the free throw line, right? When you look at it in percentage terms, Tigers struggled at the free throw line. So you live and die by the free throw line in the game of basketball.
I think
Their inability to get their offense going, they were very dependent on Antino Jackson shooting. And yet in the previous game, he was more of a facilitator than a scorer. Now, when they have to get, he has to be the scorer, then it looks like APR are okay with that. Game 2, Obadia Noel, he's in the building. He was cleared on time. The Rwanda Energy Group are taking on the Patriots.
Please stick around for the next game. It's definitely going to be a very exciting one with Patriots going against Reg. Patriots won game 1, really dominated and took on. It seemed like Reg couldn't find their pace, which was very surprising considering the lineup that they had. But hey, I mean, Coach Sunny has really done a wonder with the Patriots team, and Obadiah Noel, who we know can perform even better than what he did in game 1. Let's see how it's going to go as the series progresses.
He was feeling that game. You're watching Okapi Sports Network. We'll be right back after this short break.